So based on your unique archetype, that's going to determine how you are approaching these 5 phases. Really it's 6. But for the purposes of this conversation, we're going to say that there's 5 phases of a relationship. Now, when you are ready to start learning, put it in the chat. I'm ready. When you are ready to have the upper hand when it comes to dating, if you are ready to start attracting high quality men who are marriage-minded men, say I'm ready. The first phase is the attraction phase. Okay? The first phase is the attraction phase. He sees you. You see him. And he wants to get it, ma'am. He wants to get it. Why? Because you triggered his testosterone. Testosterone is a sex hormone. It's normal. It's innate. It's biological. It's within him. Okay? He is driven because he sees that you're sexable, basically. You're sexable. So for all of you who keep romanticizing it like it's love at first sight, oh my God, he fell in love with my personality. Ma'am, no ma'am. Okay? He wants your pudding pop, ma'am. Okay? Your kibbles and bits is what he wants. he wants your moon pie. Okay? Your Scooby snacks. Let's not make it. Okay? He wants your Jello is what he wants. That's what he wants, ma'am. Okay? I didn't make up the rules. So when you understand what is his motivation, then you can act accordingly. Your honey bunny. Your jar of Skittles. He wants all of that. Yes, ma'am. Your milkshake. So when you understand that, then you can date accordingly. Now, this is what happens to you. When you are attracted to that man, and let me tell you something, ladies, biochemically, when you meet a man, you smell him. You are smelling his pheromones. And the more biologically he is different from you, the more your genetic makeup is different, then the more you're attracted to him. However, I need you to listen, your Fruity Pebbles. Y'all are a mess. Now, if you are on birth control, baby, if you are on birth control, that blocks your ability for you to be able to smell his pheromones and for your brain to be able to process it. So what often happens is that a lot of women are on birth control, which is blocking their natural ability to determine compatibility, okay? Biological compatibility. And then when you get off the birth control, you get with this man, you marry him, and then you get pregnant, you're off the birth control. A lot of pregnant women are disgusted with their husband. They can't stand their husband because now they're actually smelling him for the first time and they're not genetically compatible and they're turned off by his smell. A lot of you are dating blind because you're on birth control. Now, I'm not saying for you to get off of the birth control. I'm saying you to be aware. I'm saying for you to be aware with what's going on. Okay? Because when you meet him and you smell him and you can smell his pheromones, some of you were turned off from him in the beginning and then he kept pursuing you, and then you got lonely, or you were like, okay, fine, I won't listen to my gut. I won't listen to the fact that I'm turned off by him. I'll give him a chance only for him to break my heart, play me, and then now I'm like, why did I even get with him in the first place? Who has that happened to? Say I. Who has that happened to? You get with somebody, you weren't even interested in them to begin with. You were turned off. And then you gave him a chance because he kept pursuing you. And then you end up like, see, this is the reason why I wasn't even interested. And then you turn around and be hooked on him. That's what happened. Because what happens is when you start to consider a man, the more you are around a man, the more you're getting to know him. A woman falls differently than a man. She falls through her ears, through an image of the potential of what their relationship can be. She's not actually falling in love with the man. She's falling in love with the ideal of the man. The idea of the man. She's not falling in love with him. So if a man has game, if he knows how to do many different techniques, and ladies, it's not hard. There are men pay millions in order to learn how to seduce you. Men pay millions of dollars. Right. Then he ghosted you. Men will pay millions of dollars to learn how to fake like they're having a connection with you, and they aren't really having a connection with you. If you are on the phone talking to a man for hours on end, if you are texting a man on hours on end, then baby girl, you're the one that's falling, he's not. Did y'all hear me? If you are spending a lot of time texting and talking on the phone, that is not how a man falls in love. You are setting yourself up. That's not how a man falls in love. That's how a woman falls in love. When you are spending a lot of time, that's why, ma'am, for the love of everything holy, okay? For the love of baby Jesus in a manger, riding a donkey, okay? Driving down the street, okay? Sipping on Jesus juice and meditating. Please stop doing dinner, because you are setting yourself up. You're doing dinner on the first date. Dinner on the first date is a player's dream. He gets all this undivided time to speak into your ear. All that pheromone smelling, you're in this romantic environment, you're drinking drinks. It's a perfect storm for you to fall for a Build-A-Bear, for a man who doesn't have good intentions. And then you start producing high levels of oxytocin. Now, when you have sex with a man, which is why you shouldn't be having sex before you actually enter in a committed relationship, but when you have sex with a man, then you produce oxytocin, which is also produced when a woman has a baby, which causes bonding. Can y'all put bonding in the chat? Oxytocin causes bonding, and it causes bonding even before you have sex, just by talking and getting to know him and thinking that he's a nice person and believing that there's a connection causes you to produce oxytocin. And you know what oxytocin causes your female brain to do? Do you want to know what it causes you to do? It causes you to lower your guard. It causes you to give your trust to him too soon. It causes you to shut down your frontal lobe and for you to miss the red flags. That's the reason why you want to slow down your oxytocin production and speed up triggering his vasopressin, which is his hormone for bonding. Which is why you want to do coffee on the first date. And you want to be there for no more than 45 minutes. Find out the information that you need to find out to see if you want to move forward with getting to know this man. Because again, dating is an interview process. Okay? Put it in the chat. Dating is an interview process. I really need you guys to understand that. Then, in the next phase is the courting phase. So in the courting phase, he's trying to get it. Okay? He's doing everything he can to get your Scooby snacks, your yummy sauce, okay? Now, during this phase, because you've learned the Diva love formula, you've learned how to fall in love with yourself, you've healed your love blocks, you're not being the Ruby trying to take control where you're the one that's shooting your shot and trying to make that man stay with you. You know your power. You're acting like a queen. You're letting this man come to you. You're letting him earn you. You're letting him show you why he even deserves to smell your air. And what happens as this man is working to earn your heart, because you are triggering his vasopressin through CAP. Curiosity, anticipation, and polarity. I'll break that down a little bit later. But because you're doing this, then biochemically, something is happening. What's happening is his testosterone is dropping, and so is his serotonin, and his dopamine is going up. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? When a man's testosterone starts to drop, that means he's becoming more nurturing like a woman. He wants to do for you. He wants to please you. When his serotonin goes down, that means that he is obsessing about you. He's thinking about you. He's showing you how to be he's showing you why you should consider him. And he's constantly thinking about, what can I do to make you happy? He can't get you off of his mind. This is the kind of man that's going to want to commit to you. And I'm not talking about after 2 days, ma'am. Okay? Getting with the man and entering into a committed relationship after 2 days, 2 weeks is way too soon. A month, too soon. A month and a half, ma'am, too soon. 2 months, too soon, ma'am. It's too soon. You don't know him. Okay? Every man has 3 faces. Write this down. Every man has 3 faces. He has a public face, he has a secret face, and he has a private face. Now, what you want to find out is the private and the secret face. Now, the private face, you'll find out when you start to like get to know him and you get more into his inner circle. But the secret face, that's what he he don't want nobody to really know that. Very few people, even his mama, might not even know his secret face. And if you end up falling for a man's public face and you haven't met his secret face, then you could find out that you are sleeping with the enemy, that you are sleeping with the devil himself. And you know what that means? If this man has negative intentions for you, baby, your feminine energy is so powerful. It is kryptonite to men. It's kryptonite. And if you don't know how to control it, then that means that that man who has negative intentions, he doesn't know how to tap into his own source. He will tap into your source and he will start to control you like a puppet, intentionally causing a soul tie with you, where he is draining your energy, where he is manipulating you mentally and emotionally, and he's treating you like a puppet. Sometimes he doesn't even have to say anything or do anything. He's doing it psychically. He's doing it energetically. And then you don't even know what's happening. All you know is you had sex with this man and bad things start to happen. Your job is affected. You're losing money. Your health starts going down. Just all kinds of different stuff is happening. And then even though this man isn't all that, okay, because he's a meaty back, you can't seem to let him go. You know that you shouldn't be with this man. You know he's not calling you or taking you out on dates or treating you right, but you can't let him go. Why? Because you have what's called a soul tie, which is an energetic tie. It's a real thing. It's an energetic tie from you to him. It's a cord. And because you have that soul tie, now you're having a hard time walking away from somebody that you never knew who he was before you laid down with him. That's why when you have all these no ma'am queens talking about it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you have sex with a man. It doesn't matter if you have sex on the first date or on the second date or the third date. That's the most ridiculous piece of advice ever. As a woman, there is always a consequence when we have sex. We are literally the seed of life. We create life through our bodies. And when a man connects to that, then you create life, not only a physical life, but life in his dreams, life in his desires. You create life with his negative intentions. If this man has negative intentions where he wants to control you, then now you have produced life to his negative intentions for you. So during the courting phase, you never, ever, ever let this man in your sacred waters. You never let him smell, sniff, touch, lick nothing of your noni juice. Ever. Ever. Now, after the courting phase, then this is the most confusing phase. Okay? This is the part that trips you up too. Especially if you fell for him in the courting phase and then you gave up your yummy yum. Okay? If you gave up your Scooby snacks during the courting phase, ma'am, I don't know what to tell you. All right? You on your own. You done baked a different kind of cake. You set yourself up. You might as well throw it away and start all over if he's acting up. All right? And if he's not, proceed with caution. That requires a whole different strategy if you did that. Now, when you enter after the courting phase, after he's been all great and all into you and doing this, and she said, whoops. After he's been doing all of that, he enters into this next phase. And ma'am, this is biochemical, okay? I call this the pull away phase. And for a man cannot multitask at the same way that a woman multitasks because our brains are different. Okay? There's a connective tissue that allows a woman to be able to process information and to be able to multitask much more efficiently than a man can. In order for a man to decide, do I want to move forward with this woman? Do I want to enter into a committed relationship with this woman? Let me pull back and see my feelings. I need to miss her. I need to really think about this. And I need to give my testosterone to rebound back because I'm not feeling like myself. That's called the pull away phase. And the pull away phase happens in different forms. Sometimes you don't even notice it. So there's some women that's like, well, my man didn't go through that. Baby, you just didn't notice it. Your man did too. And you want him to. If a man doesn't go through the pull away phase, a lot of times he's a narcissist. I said what I said. If a man doesn't go through a pull away phase, he's like, oh my God, I'm head over heels. I want to be with you. And he goes through no phase where it seems like his efforts have decreased because he's really contemplating if you're the one, then no man. And if he goes through the pull away phase and then you start chasing him, he will run. You have now contradicted his hunter gene. And if he does respond to you chasing, then ma'am, he's crazy. Don't pass go. You need to clock out again, ma'am. He's still not the one. It's still not working. And some of you are breaking your own hearts by allowing this man to drag out your time. He's dragging out your time and you're going 4, 5, 6 months calling it dating. You're not dating anymore. Okay? What you are is a placeholder. What he's done is put you as a layaway option. That's what he's done. You're not dating anymore. Okay? It's expired. Is what it is. You're in the expiration phase. After 2 weeks, he's Casper the Ghost. He doesn't exist. If your phone rings with his name on it, just consider that that's on the other side. He's on the other side of life, ma'am. Okay? If you don't talk to ghosts, if you're not the ghost whisperer, then don't answer his calls. You're done. But whatever you do, after 1 day or 2 days, don't go and block him. No, ma'am. You just gave him all your diva power. That is not seductress energy. So when you tap into your feminine energy and your feminine power and you understand how to use it, then no man can resist that. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how much you think you are unattractive. I don't care if you're skinny or thick, tall or short, have kids or not. If you're doing what it is that I'm telling you to do, this will work for anybody. If you have limited yourself like, oh, it's just if you're cute that this works. No, ma'am. Men go by how they feel. If it was based on how a woman looks and a woman being pretty, then all the pretty women would be married and taken. If it was about sex, all the prostitutes and the streetwalkers would be married and they would be taken. But that's not how it works. When he goes through the I'm not calling, I need to see how I feel, he's also testing you. He's testing you. He's trying to see if you are the type of woman that's going to act crazy. He's testing to see if you're going to be the kind of woman that's going to come chase him. He's also testing you. And make sure he can eat that test. Make him eat it. Okay? You test me, you gonna get a whole entire book, all right? Because the next time you look at your phone and you see that not only did I not text or call you for as long as you're not texting and calling me, you're gonna see that I'm not looking at your stories. You're gonna see that I completely disappear because I'm enjoying my life, okay? I'm enjoying my purple rain life. I'm hanging out with my girlfriends. I'm loving myself. I'm doing me. I'm continuing to go out on dates. Then when he starts to think, he's going to be like, wait a minute, why hasn't she been chasing me like the other women? Why hasn't she been calling me and texting me and looking for me like all the other women that chase after me? Wait a minute, this woman was a good woman. Now he's going to start thinking back on the memories and the moments that you two had together. And because you were smart enough to go through Boss Diva and you were able to learn how to get into his mind and into his heart, you were able to learn what his 6 human needs are and how to appeal to them, so that he falls for you, this man is going to lose it. Because he's going to be like, oh my God, I had a good woman. I can't lose her. Then he's going to be texting you and calling you. But ma'am, you're busy living your boss diva life. So you're not going to be available to answer his texts and his phone calls, ma'am. You're busy.